Ciao e bentornati, welcome back to Pillole D'Italiano. Today's episode is episode number 50. It's a big one, which means that it's almost been a year since I started this channel. I'm so excited to have all of you here. Thank you so much for watching. And I also have a little announcement. I created an assessment test for people that have been studying, like you, have been studying Italian for a while, a few months or a few years. A lot of people that I talk with, they don't necessarily know how they place in the language, how fluent, how proficient they are. When I ask them, okay, you've been studying for a few months or a few years, where are you at and what do you think you need to improve? They have no idea. And this might be the case for you too, so I decided to create an assessment test. I will put a link in the description below to access that test so that you can take it. It's a very quick one, about 10 minutes. Don't cheat, otherwise there is no point of taking a test if you're Googling the answers at the same time, right? Don't cheat, you will be only cheating yourself. And after you complete the test, you will see where you place, if you're a beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate or upper intermediate learner. And you also get a chance to receive an email from yours truly with some personalized advice and things that I would recommend you to focus on to bring your Italian to the next level. As I said, the link to this test will be in the description of this episode below. All right, let's move to today's topic. It's going to be quick and easy, hopefully easy to understand. It's very, very important to have clear in mind this distinction. I'm talking about a distinction in pronunciation. I don't usually make a lot of videos about pronunciation because, to be honest, I wouldn't stress too much about most of the things that English speakers tend to stress about. For example, your R, if it's not like the Italian R, it's not a big deal because it will come with time and I can understand you. So as long as you get your point across and the other person, the person that you're communicating with, can understand you, you're good. But for this specific type of mistake, I would just pay close attention because it can create confusion. We are talking about the imperfetto today, which is that type of past that you use to describe things as they were in the past or habit that you had in the past, such as I used to. And the two grammatical persons that I want to focus on today are noi and loro, so the we and they person. Now, the reason why it's so important to focus on these two and how the accent actually falls in different places between the two persons is because the ending for the noi in the imperfetto is vamo, V-A-M-O. And the ending for loro at the imperfetto is vano, V-A-N-O. You see how similar they are? Now, if the accent were to fall on the same syllable for both words, and I'm going to give you an example which is the wrong example, but how a lot of English speakers tend to do this, it would be so difficult to understand. Wait a second, who are you talking about? Are you talking about us or are you talking about them? Okay, so let's take the verb to live, vivere. This is a fun one because it has already two V's in the verb and we're going to add a third V for the imperfetto ending. So vivere becomes vivevamo for we used to live, vivevamo. Now, for they used to, instead of vamo, you're going to end it in vano. If I were to keep the accent on the same spot, vivevano, it would be very hard for you to understand if I'm saying they used to or we used to live. And I repeat both verbs with the same accent, vivevamo, vivevano. It's very difficult to grasp it, and that's why we actually don't say vivevano for they used to live, but vivevano, vivevano. That different accent is the marker, more than the difference between the M and the N, is the difference in where you place the accent that is going to make me understand right away, even before you finish the verb, even before you finish that word, I will understand who the subject is. Because when you start saying vivevano, oh, okay, I know it's loro, vivevano. In a sense, marking that no is less important than moving the accent a bit back. Vivevano. I kind of imagine sitting on a horse and kind of like holding it back. Vivevano. While we used to live, vivevamo, I am sending it at a gallop, if that makes sense. That's my mental image. If it doesn't work for you and sounds ridiculous, that's also okay. But I'm here to stress the difference between vivevamo, we used to live, and vivevano, they used to live. Let's use it in a sentence. Okay, I am going to talk about my family, so what we used to do, and my cousin's family, what they used to do. Per esempio, noi vivevamo in Italia, ma I miei cugini vivevano in Canada. Ripeto, I repeat. Noi vivevamo in Italia, ma I miei cugini vivevano in Canada. You hear the difference? Vivevamo in Italia, vivevano in Canada. Noi andavamo a trovare I miei nonni ogni estate, loro andavano a trovarli ogni 2 anni. Noi andavamo a trovare I miei nonni ogni estate, loro andavano a trovarli ogni 2 anni. You hear again? Andavamo a trovare, loro andavano a trovare. You're holding it back. I was about to give you the full translation of this super long sentence, but you know what? Let's make it into a little game. Use the comment section below and type the translation that you think corresponds to what I just said. And pick any verb and practice with these imperfetto in the 2 forms, the noi and loro. My recommendation would be to record yourself and then listen. Record yourself as you say, we used to, and then you put whichever verb you want, and they used to. So the 2 forms back to back. I'll give you an example. Bevevamo, bevevano. If you record yourself and then re-listen to the 2 forms, it will be easier for you to spot the mistake. If you tend to have that accent fall on the same syllable, you will hear it clearly by listening to the recording. So make sure that that accent moves. And that's a trick to create that distinction between we used to and they used to. I hope this is clear and that you enjoyed this episode. If so, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel if you're new to it, and I will see you settimana prossima, next week. Ciao, a presto!